My name is Alicia McPeek, and welcome to Alicia McPeek Presents. Okay, before we get started, I just want to say if you're here on Zoom or live on Facebook, first of all, you need to drop us some hearts down below. We need some love. We don't want to be here all by ourselves, so give us some love. Tell us you're here so we know you're here, okay? And your job today is to ask questions and comments because Judy's got some really great things she'd love to give away to all of you who will do that, questions and comment, okay? So give us some feedback, give us some love, give us some questions. Let us know you feel the same way because we don't like to be alone any more than anybody else in these feelings, okay? All right. So with that, I am so happy. And just if you're jumping on Zoom Live, please mute yourself when you jump on if you aren't already. Thank you so much. Okay. I'm so happy to be here today with Judy. Hi, Judy.
So glad to be here.
I'm so glad you're here. So Judy is actually, I've known Judy for a long, long time. Her family and was friends with my kids' families. I had a daughter who dated one of her brothers. And then later Judy became a personal trainer, and I got to mentor her into personal trainerhood, and she worked at our gym for a while, which was a lot of fun. She's a precious, precious person. She's everything you see on the outside and so much more. And I'm really excited to have her share her journey with you. So she is a personal trainer and nutrition specialist. She specializes in pre and postnatal fitness, which is a great topic. I'm really excited about that. She also is a rep for Zaya Fitness Apparel. I said it right, didn't I? Yes. Okay. But like I said before, she has a huge passion for encouraging and empowering women and moms to be healthy, fit, and step into the greatness of who they're meant to be. So welcome, Judy. And why don't you just kick it off by telling everybody just a little bit about you?
Yeah, I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much for that warm welcome, Alicia. I really appreciate that. Yeah. Going back to what Alicia said, we met back in 2008 when I wanted to be a trainer, and she mentored me. She was really wonderful teacher in teaching me all the tricks of the trade and laid me down a wonderful foundation that a decade later, I'm still doing it. So she is wonderful. So a little bit about me. I have been married to my husband now for 7 years. We have 2 kids. I have a 4-year-old son, Noah, and I have a 1-year-old daughter, Naomi. Like I mentioned before, I've been personal training since 2008, so over a decade now. And just helping people honestly live a healthy lifestyle and making it realistic, making it attainable, making it scalable to you and where you're at. And this big daunting task that we're like, what do I do? Where do I start? Just helping people get started and take it one step at a time to reach that ultimate goal. So that's what I do. Outside of that, of course, mom life, I'm washing clothes daily, I'm cleaning the kitchen, I'm making snacks 2 to 3 times a day, make my healthy dinners. I'm just a normal mom, but, as Alicia mentioned, during the pandemic, it was just really hard staying in your home, and the walls your home just like it gets smaller and smaller, and you have little kids and there's toys everywhere and there's a constant mess when you're trying to clean something up over here. And I just was like, okay, I've had enough of just being inside, can't do anything, like can't go see your neighbors because they don't want to play with your kids because they're afraid. I just was like, I was getting unmotivated. And so, I was already kind of helping people before that, before the pandemic, with training. I had like 1 or 2 clients, not much, but now I was just like, I need to do something. If I'm feeling this way, unmotivated, uninspired to move my body and to get up and do my daily habits that I was doing before, getting up early before my kids, having some quiet time, moving my body, like I wasn't doing those things. I was like, there's somebody else out there that feels the same way. And that's really kind of that propelled me to move forward and to reach out to people on social media. That's where everybody's spending their time to connect. And that's what I felt like I needed to speak up and say that, hey, this is hard. This is hard. And who needs some help? How can I help you? Let's encourage each other. That's really why I did it. It was like, I need encouragement. I need to be accountable to somebody else. And so that's kind of how it got started.
Okay. So Judy, tell me a little bit more about how you actually got here too, because I know you've been in fitness quite a few years, but I also know that there came a time where you were kind of at a loss you were feeling like you were getting some direction from God to go a certain way, and you were maybe not listening so well. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we could backtrack back. No, I got married in 2013. And, you know, I always wanted to have babies. I always wanted to be a mom. But like, as I was a trainer, you know, I built up this business before. I worked in a gym and I leased space and I had a boot camp there. It was called Functionally Fit. And it was a great boot camp. It was going really well. It was very successful, but I worked a lot. Like I was like an early morning trainer all day. And I was like, I want to have babies, but I don't know how to stop this cycle of working and working and working, and helping people is very satisfying. If you do anything like what I do, it's so satisfying to help others, but I couldn't stop. Like I was like, God, you know my heart, I want to have babies, but I don't want to let this go. And so like long and the short, God completely shut that door. I had this wonderful relationship with the owners. And as soon as I had my baby, I went on maternity leave. I had trainers under me paying them to train. They're like, you can no longer be at this facility. Like, we cannot have you here anymore. And it was just out of the blue, you guys, just completely. And I was like, that was my biggest worry being pregnant. Like the pregnancy was great. I had great pregnancy. I loved being pregnant, but my thought process was like, Lord, how am I going to keep this life, continue training these people and doing all that I do and have a baby like that? It just seems so overwhelming. Like that was my main concern. And so he was like, well, I'm going to do it for you because you're not good, Judy. So I'm just going to shut that down. And you can't do that anymore. Like you're not going to be able to train these people more. And I had over 50 clients and it was a lot. Okay. And so then I was like, okay, Lord, fine. All right. I trust you. This is what you want. I get the picture. My hands are up. Surrender. And you know, that was a process for me to walk through. If some of you I know that are on here, Nicole, and my story of that was really hard for me to transition from being a working mom or working and then becoming a mom. Like that transition was really hard for me mentally because that was my identity. And that's what I was like, this is me. And now being a mom, like it was really, really hard for me. And so God had to strip all that away from me and realize, like, okay, this is where you are. This is your foundation. And then from there, I feel like he's like allowing me to slowly give it back. Is where I'm at.
Well, I love how God will always do for us what we can't or are unwilling to do ourselves so that we can get to what we're actually supposed to be doing. So, but you had a common problem. So many moms lose their identity when, as much as they love being a mom, right? But we often lose our identity or, you know, can't figure out like, I love this and I'm passionate about it, but I think I'm meant for more. So I think you're right there with so many moms. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and throw this first question out really quick so we can make sure we take questions and get them answered. So this is Anna, I think, right? So, or maybe not. So here it is. How should a woman in her 50s prevent muscle loss? Let's start with a good fitness question. How about that?
Sure. Number one thing I would say is muscle loss. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are strength training. I would say a minimum of 2 times a week, and you're getting sufficient amount of protein in a day. And what I mean by sufficient amount is that everyone should be having about, okay, if you take your weight and you multiply that by like 0.35, okay, that should be a rough estimate of how much protein you should be taking in a day. So I would say those 2 things. You want to make sure you're strength training 2 to 3 times a week and you're getting a sufficient amount of protein because muscle is our metabolism. So yes, you're going to decrease muscle mass as you age. It's just fact. But the more muscle you have, the more you train it, you know, you can preserve it by properly nutrition and exercise. And I'm not talking, you don't have to lift super, super heavy weights. Yes, you can build to that. But it's all about the consistency of doing it.
Yeah. And getting heavier, I think personally from a woman who is in her 50s is actually you got to start where you are, but going heavy over time is actually really important because you also build human growth hormone, which helps keep us young. So people who are really fit don't look younger just because they're really fit. They actually have more human growth hormone. So they are younger. So, okay. So Judy, so one of the struggles that people have especially being moms and especially being now, it's really hard to find the time, the motivation, the inspiration, the balance to stay motivated, to work out and to balance that life. What are your thoughts on that?
It is hard.
There you go. Let's be real.
It's hard. You have to put in forth the effort. And so I am a big person of routine, structure, right? Our kids love it. Most people thrive in it. you kind of, the number one thing is I would say you need to have a routine, a game plan. And ultimately, if you have little ones like myself, you need to get up before then. We're always fresh in the morning. We just are. When we wake up, we're the most alert and ready to do things and receive. So I always get up early before my kids. I do a quiet time. I'll work out. I'll have some coffee. I'll eat some breakfast. So I'm ready to take on my day. So I'm saying having a firm routine and even a bedtime routine. I have alarms that go off for me at 9 p.m. that say, hey, it's time to get ready for bed. And my phone shuts down. Like I shut down. I have now these alerts that say, okay, you're no longer to look at your phone. Like its screen time is off. Mm-hmm. So I do these measures in place because if I don't, you guys, I am not a nice person. I'm not a nice mom. And I'm not a nice wife. Like I'm just not when I don't get my recommended sleep. And that's how it is for our kids. Like we have these strict bedtime routines with them. We need to do the same for ourselves. And so I found that getting in those habits, setting those habits in place, okay, going to bed by 10, putting the phone away by 9, I am more likely to go to sleep and I'm able to wake up by like 5:30 in the morning. That's when I wake up in the morning and get my day started. And it really just flows so much better from that place. Because in the pandemic, I was sleeping in. I was like, what's the point of waking up early? And I was grouchy. I was unmotivated and just all the other, I would say, negative or non-healthy habits were flowing from that.
Yep. So when I had small children, I made it a practice of getting up. I still try to get up early. I don't know what the deal is with getting up early. I mean, how much of a difference it makes to our lives, but it's huge. So getting up early is a big part for me. But when you have little ones, like having that space and time, plus putting your workout at the beginning of the day, like you just said, that excuse proofs you. Mm-hmm. Because it's done. You don't have to worry about it. When I worked full time and had small children, I would leave work, go straight to the gym that was closest to my office, work out. And I had to go in late to the class because of just the time that I was taking, the time that it hit, but it didn't matter because I knew if I didn't do it then, once I got home, it wouldn't happen. So those routines and systems in place to create success are huge. And these are the things these are things that working with somebody like Judy can also really help you with. They can help show you where you need to shore up your whatever you shore up so that you can have more success. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And you also mentioned being efficient with your time. Is that part of being efficient with your time?
Yes. I mean, and that's the thing that I've realized as I've had gone from one child to two, my bandwidth in a day is much smaller, meaning how much can I take on? And so I have to be very strategic. I'm very strategic on who I let in my circle and let in my sphere in a day and how much I'm allowing out. So because I only have so much energy and so much time, so everything is really routine. I capitalize on nap time if my kids are home like today, so I can do something like this, or I can work, or everything is really time blocked. And I really find that some people might find that's really rigid and doesn't work, but honestly, I can predict and I know when I can chill and I can know when I need to work. And so it helps me. It really does.
Yes. Okay. So next I want you to share because I thought this was really profound of you, and being in fitness and nutrition my entire life and just being concerned about how I look and how I show up, which is a natural feeling. Don't feel bad about feeling that way. We just have to direct it to a more healthy attitude. But you don't realize, I think, sometimes until you have a daughter or kids, about what you're actually saying about yourself, to yourself, and around your children. What was your experience like around that?
Oh my gosh, it was life-changing, to be quite honest with you. You know, I feel like with each child, you like birth a new part of you. A new part of you like is exposed. And so with Naomi, it really exposed to me that I was lacking confidence in certain areas and my giftings. Like I knew what my giftings were, but like I was like shying away from them. And I was like, no, I can't do that. You know, I want to be this role model for my daughter, that you can be confident in who you are and every attribute of yourself, because that's who God made you to be. And if you're not being true to yourself, then I feel like you're really doing a disservice to our Creator, to God, and who you made you to be. Like, I don't want to do that anymore. You know, like I want to be true to who I am. And if people don't like it, or it catches them off guard because it's not normally who I am, or they haven't seen me show up that way, I was like, I have to do this. And to the point about talking about yourself or having good positive language about your body image, about who you are. That's another thing. I don't want to have negative self-talk around my daughter. I want her to see that she is beautiful no matter what, whatever she looks like or how she speaks or how maybe she has a sassy personality that some people can't handle. Like, hey, that's her. And because she is sassy. Okay. And so
I wonder where she got that from.
my husband.
Okay.
And that's a good thing. I like that I like these attributes in her that I do already see at a 1-year-old. I'm not kidding you. And I'm just like, okay, you're brave, you're confident. Like, I love that. And so I just kind of want to continue to nurture that and be that example. So I feel like I needed to level up in who I was so that when she's watching me, that she sees, oh, I can be that. I can become assured of who I am and who I'm supposed to be.
So true. As I look at the babies now, Judy, I have grandbabies now. So I look at those babies and I just, there's no inhibition. There's no self-consciousness. There's no fear. They just show up being authentically who they are. And it's the most beautiful thing. They're so present. And that's really, I've designed my life now after that. So what does confidence look like to you when you think, okay, or even another a little bit deeper question, not only does it what it look like, but what do you think creates confidence in a woman?
I feel like honestly owning your gifts and who you are and showing up. And I'm sure you've all heard this unapologetically, like showing up, not comparing yourself to someone else, because we can get in that comparison game, especially as women, and the image of you got to look this way or you got to speak this way or whatever, like showing up honestly in a way that is authentic to me and being okay with the way I say it or being okay with the way that I present it, knowing that the right people that are listening or hearing are going to receive it and that they're going to need it. Do you know what I'm saying? That is really what I'm stepping into, is that, okay, when you, especially since we're talking about the pandemic, everything, a lot of things we're doing these days is online, doing Zooms, you're putting yourself in front of a screen. Myself in particular, that was terrifying for me, terrifying. Okay. But now I'd like, you know what, Judy, you have stuff to speak, you have things to give and you want to give away. And This is the way I have to do it. And I have to be confident that somebody needs to know this. Somebody needs to hear this because we all need to be encouraged. We all need to be motivated. We all need to know the truth and not feel like we're alone also in whatever struggle we're going through. And that was really what made me step out.
We really do need to help people not feel alone, especially because of social media, because it does look like everybody looks at the perfect world and it's not perfect. Nobody's world is perfect. I mean, I'm sure people look at you and think, oh yeah, she's fit, she's gorgeous, she's got it all together. But the truth is you struggle just like everybody else. And we have to be real and show up real for people. And we're going to find our tribe. We just have to speak our truth and stand in our truth, and we'll find our people. They'll come to us. We've got a couple of really great questions, Judy. Okay. So the first one is, how do you plan for meals? Do the adults and kids eat the same or different?
Okay, good question. Now I definitely, for instance, what do we have last night? We had potatoes and we had noodles and then we had with some pesto and stuff like that. So what I'll do is I'll make something, right? And I'm like, okay, I know these are the foods that my kids will eat. So like Noah loves noodles. So I'll put noodles on his plate and I'll put another food that he likes, but then I'll put one thing he doesn't like. So for instance, I'm like, okay, buddy, I want you to try chickpeas today. So I'll put like one chickpea on his plate. So it's not so overwhelming because I've gone the other way. I'm like, all right, you're going to eat all the broccoli and you're going to eat all the chicken. And he's like, no, and like so upset at me, so mad. And so I'm like, okay, I've learned that let's just try one. Let's just try a bite. Let's talk about it. So I do modify the kids' meals. Absolutely. No doubt about it. But I try to make it very simple and easy, like to put on their plate. So I would say maybe one thing on their plate is different than mine.
Very similar. Okay. I do think that's important. Did I ever tell you the story about how I tried to change everybody's eating all in one go once? Rowan toddled, she was 4 and she toddled up to the table daily for a whole week before I decided it was not a good strategy. And she got up in her little booster seat. She surveyed the table and she'd push back and leave every day for a whole week. So don't do it that way. Judy's idea is much better. Okay, so here's another good question. So let's see. How can I speak positively? Okay, there's a couple here around body image and language. So how can I speak positive of my body? So some verbiage words would be great. And then second is, this is so valuable, especially because my mom always spoke of her body in a negative way. So we learned that, right? But how can I do this as a mom of boys? So that's a little different way to look at it. I don't have boys, so I can't even answer that question. So what you got there?
Okay, so one big thing is, honestly, I start off like with affirmations. I really do. Like on the way to school with Noah, I'll have him repeat affirmations with me. I'm like, I am strong, I am confident, I am beautiful, I'm brave. And I'm saying them to myself. Like I literally open my mirror and I'm looking at myself and I'm telling him repeat. And honestly, and I know that sounds simple, but that really has helped me, is saying and looking at myself in the mirror, even without my kids around, and being like, Judy, you are beautiful. You are strong. You are born for a purpose. And I challenge you to do that in the mirror. You will cry. You will. I've done it several times for myself because I had misbeliefs from childhood of like when kids bully you, you know, they'll say like, oh, like I used to have to wear braces. Oh, they'd be like, oh, you have snaggletooth. Or like my best friends would make fun of me. And I'd be like, I would believe these lies like you're talking about. And I had them in there. I'm like, oh, I'm not beautiful. I don't have a beautiful smile. I don't want to smile. And so I had to retrain my thinking and saying like, no, I'm a child of God. God made me perfect in every facet and way. And I need to accept who I am. So I would look in the mirror and I would say, Judy, you are strong. And I would say, Judy, you are confident. Judy, you are brave. You are a warrior. You are ready for war. And I would say, I am a child of God. And I would just repeat these things. And honestly, until I believed them, I would pray and I'd be like, Lord, can you give me confidence today? Because it doesn't actually come naturally to much of you may think. It's stepping on a screen like something like this, or putting myself even on social media. That's nerve-wracking for me. But once again, I know it's my purpose. And so I'm going to do it. Even though it makes me feel, I don't feel confident in it. But as I move through it, I feel more confident.
Yeah, it'll give you instant confidence as you do it. Maybe not at first though, because a lot of times we are so programmed in such a negative way, we actually believe the lies. But here's the really cool thing, guys. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between the truth or a story, which is why we love movies and we get so engaged by movies, because we can't tell our subconscious can't tell the difference. So if you start affirming yourself in a positive way and use positive words in present tense always, you don't say things like, I want to be, or I wish I was. That doesn't work. You have to say it in present tense as if it already is. And you do that and you literally rewire your brain. You reprogram your subconscious mind and you begin to believe it. So it takes a little consistency. Great advice, Judy. Great advice.
Well, and second to that, as far as like being a boy mom, I don't ever speak about body image, ever. Like I never, Patrick, excuse me, if Noah says something, I'm like, always say you're strong, you know, or if he's like, I'm scared.
Good point.
Oh, you're brave, buddy. You can do this. Like I don't ever talk about my body image ever. I don't ever say I feel in the blank.
Ugly. The things that women say to themselves.
I never say anything like that. Even if I think it, I don't.
Good.
I don't want to, I truly believe words have energy, have power, have life.
Oh, they do.
And so I don't want to speak things like that out into
existence,
if you will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. How was the universe created? Through word. That's right. Okay. Well, those are really great questions. Okay. We need to wrap it up though, because I promised I'd only keep you a little while, and everybody who joins us, I like to try and keep these to 30 minutes. So here's what I want you to do. Tell us about what is your favorite fitness gear? I want to know about that. What do you like to wear when you work out?
I absolutely love Active. I just became a rep, you guys, a month ago, and it's honestly been a blessing for me. It's just something I felt like it aligned already with what I do, because I want to be a light. I want to uplift people and I want to inspire people to move. That's really what Active is. Okay. And also I did want to make another supplemental end stream, leveled end stream of income. And it has been that in 1 month, you guys, it really has been a blessing. And I got bonus this past month. And so I'm just thrilled with it. It's been really fun to share it and wear it, and it's been great. It's good quality. So that's what I'm doing with it right now. And I'm actually looking for more people to be a part of my team, because I want to help other people just like myself, moms at home who can work from home anytime they want from their phones, from their laptops, and it doesn't take much time and everything is duplicatable.
Right.
Um,
So I want to, Judy, you know, I'm a huge fan of these kind of businesses, network marketing, direct sales, you know, whatever you want to call it. I love them. And I'm so excited that you're doing this. And you're a business owner. You've started your own businesses. So let's just share why this is so different, why this kind of way of creating income is so different than just starting your own business, because I think this is the key. First of all, everybody needs multiple streams of income. If you guys don't have multiple streams, you need to start looking for something additional that you can weave into your life that fits your values and you can create, first of all. Second of all, here's a chance. There are chances now more than ever to create income from home, which we need. Okay. So that's second. But I'm going to let you speak first to the idea of how this is so much easier than starting your own business from scratch.
Honestly, it doesn't take, it's once again duplicatable. So like I have an upline, Lindsay, and she really just gave me all the tools necessary to be successful. I have a built-in team around me. So if I have questions, I can ask them real quick, but it's very easy. Like the guessing is out of it for you. You can really show up as your authentic self and just saying like, hey, I'm wearing this jacket and I love it. Do you want to try it? Can I host a party for you? Or hey, do you want to be a part of my team and make an extra stream of income that's only requires you to work about 2 hours a day? That's really about it. It's not a lot of hours that I actually put into it to make income. And I'm talking like, it's something that will bless your family. All I told Lindsay was like, I need to make $500 a month. I just need to make $500 a month, pay my kids' school. And I exceeded that in my first month, you guys. So it's very possible. And it's not as complicated as some people might think, or intimidating as much people think. I am my true self when I'm messaging people or asking them like, hey, have you heard of Gaia Active? I am not trying to be slimy or salesy to anybody.
Right.
I know that it's going to bless them. It's going to bless their families. And we all can use it. And the second to that, you guys, we're all on our phones. We're all using some social media platform, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is. So why not try to make some income while you're on it is what I like to think.
No kidding.
I would like to make some money on it.
Exactly. So systems, you've got to have systems. First of all, you got to have a product, passion product. You've got to have a product that's good, that you can be passionate about, a company that's honorable, that can stand behind you. Then the systems and team in place that are going to, so you can basically have automatic success. Honestly, that's what I love about these. You don't have to worry about all the business side of things, which takes up so much time. And it's not what we're passionate about. I don't really care about accounting or, that, or legal, but I just want to be passionate and share what I love. And that's what we get to do with these businesses. So I love it. And by the way, everybody, I am having a Zaya party online in this month. So if anybody wants to be invited to that, come to mine. I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about it. And I've already made a decision, and I hope more people follow this. My decision is I'm going to support small businesses, period. I'm done. I'm done with playing with these people who are in it for themselves and aren't looking out for us. I'm buying from my friends or local business owners or people I know. I'm support their families. And that's what this is all about. We should all it needs to go back to that basic way of living, that we take care of each other, put our money where it matters, and not give it to big corporations who are not looking out for our best interests. That's for sure been shown. So, okay. And what about your fitness? What are you doing with fitness these days? Is there something people can plug into?
I'm doing online coaching. So if you need online personal training, I'm offering that. I do offer in-home personal training and macro coaching. So I'm helping people right now with macro coaching. If you're like, I don't know where to start to eat, or I just need somebody to hold me accountable to eating healthy, that's what I've been doing as well. And that macro coaching seems to be pretty popular right now with the new year, and everybody kind of kickstarting. They're like, what direction I need to go? I know food is really important. So I help people figure out what their specific macros are for them. And we have weekly check-ins, and they just have to log their food, and we talk about it, and we talk through short-term goals, long-term goals, and we set weekly goals together.
Okay, awesome. So you guys can also reach out to Judy about that. So I see on here right now, I see Nicole, Joan, Anna, Joan. I see a phone number that we're gonna have to plug in because I don't recognize it, unless you're still on here, 929. Because Judy has a giveaway for all of you guys on here because you've all participated and commented. So do you want to tell everybody what that is?
Yeah, I have a $10 off gift card for Zaya Active. So you got my link on my page, and whoever gets it, I'll send it directly to you. You can shop my page, buy whatever you want, and you'll get $10 off.
Okay, Awesome. So if 929, you're still on here, let us know who you are so we can make sure you get that too. Okay, so I think that's it, unless anybody else has any questions. Let me just wrap this up by just telling you guys a little bit more about what we're doing here. My heart and my desire is to uplift and support other women, especially other women entrepreneurs. Like, I think this is so important. I think supporting other women is the most beautiful thing that we can do. And it's one of my favorite things to do. So I am back to doing weekly calls. I love them when they're inspiring and people have had something to overcome. And, you know, children and body image and being in shape and running your own businesses is a lot to do. So it's Claudia. Okay. Thank you, Claudia. Awesome. CLM Decor. Okay. So we'll be back here next Tuesday with Nicole Metzke of Nicole's Raw Creations. She's also a longtime friend of mine. I'm excited for her to share with you some great healthy raw food recipes. And if you'd like to be a part of past conversations, then just go to my YouTube channel. It's Alicia McPeek Presents. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell so you always get notified. This is just some of the conversations we have. I'm also doing it right now, something called Crushing It in 2021, where we're working through the junk in our heads and in our lives to create the life that we actually want on a day-by-day basis. So we're doing it together. So definitely subscribe, hit the notification so you don't miss anything. Thank you again so much, Judy, for being here. You were awesome, just like I knew you would be, and I know you are. I'm so grateful that you're here. Go find Judy on Facebook, follow her, find her, and we'll post down below her website so you can go to that and contact her directly if we don't contact you. Even if you're on the replay, if you comment or ask a question, she will still give you that $10 gift card. So get it, use it, try this activewear, and be amazed. Thank you everybody for joining us.